A lot of people like to argue about what's better, the book or the movie. So today, I know what you probably choose. We're going to ask an expert for her recommendations.
Carol Barrowman is an English professor, author, and book reviewer for the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. She's here with 4 book adaptations she's looking forward to this spring. Carol, did you know I was going to be here today?
I didn't, but it's so exciting.
I'm right at home.
I know, right? And we're in these great movie theater chairs. You know, I got gum under the seat. It's awesome.
I spilled popcorn all over already.
I know, right? I feel like I need to put my feet up somewhere.
I know, right?
Seriously.
Just like kick them back, right?
Yeah, no, this is great.
Okay, so this is pretty cool. Before we get to some of those movies, though, I want to mention, because you always say this on the show, that one of the things you love is when book clubs invite you to FaceTime, and somebody just did that.
Yes, over the holidays, I joined the Champagne Book Club in California.
Wow.
You can see me on the screen.
On the big screen.
On the big screen, and I have my glass of champagne with the ladies, and we talked books and had a fabulous time. Yeah, they Skyped me into their book club. These women have been meeting for about 30 years.
Wow.
And the one thing they always have is champagne.
Well, as one should.
As one should. Champagne and a book.
Okay, lastly, you had an interview with Celeste Ng.
Yes.
And then this is like, she's like
a
big deal.
Yeah, well, her book, we've always, oh, there we are.
Yeah.
Yes. It was one of my favorite segments of the show was to get to interview her, and I think this was with her first book. So the first book I picked then for this adaptation is Her Little Fires Everywhere.
Okay.
Nice.
And it is, I think it's Hulu, I'm not sure, but people can check. All these books are streaming. And Amy,
it is Hulu, Katie just said.
Okay, all right. And this book, I love the book, but I'm really looking forward to this adaptation because it's about mothers and daughters, and mothers who have daughters and are not sure they want daughters, and daughters who are trying to find their mothers, and mothers who are trying to find their daughters. It's a great book.
Great for Mother's Day.
Yeah, right?
It won't be out by then.
Yeah, and Kerry Washington is in it, Reese Witherspoon.
Love them.
I mean, what else do you need? A great book and great actors.
They've been wanting to work together for a long time.
Really?
So it's cool that they finally brought this together. Lost Girls, an Unsolved American Mystery.
Right, so this is a fictionalized account of the Long Island Killer. Oh. And I know that lots of our viewers love true crime and true crime podcasts. So this is a fictionalized account of a great story that came out a long time ago, and it's Amy Ryan plays the mother of one of the victims, and she's really focal and right out in front. I think Gabriel Byrne is playing the detective, but it's written so that Amy Ryan is the star here.
She's amazing.
Oh yeah,
she's like an underrated actress.
I can't picture who she is. Is there something else?
She's the kind of actress, and this is the kind of actor you want to be, where you're not recognized, so you're not that famous, you're not a household name, but you continuously work and you're excellent.
Right.
Yeah, right. And she is amazing in this because what she's doing is really fighting for her daughter, because nobody's taking her seriously in this crime. It was a great book.
Sounds
and I think it's gonna be awesome.
So that one again was Lost Girls. The next one, The Outsider by Stephen King.
Right? Now here's an exception to my intro. I didn't really like this book that much.
Oh, really?
I know, right? Usually, the book
is always better than the movie.
The book is always better, Ryan.
Except for The Wizard of Oz.
I know, right. The book is always better. But actually, this was not my favorite Stephen King. But
are you usually a fan of Stephen King?
I am. Okay. I am. Because I like the supernatural and I like to be scared. Yeah. So, but this is a book about grief and about the aftermath of a murder. And Ben Mendelsohn, I think is that his name? He plays a father and the detective in this. Okay. And this is already streaming, but you can catch up. It just started in last month. It's a mini-series. It's not a film. And Cynthia Erivo.
Yes, she's amazing. She was Harriet.
Yes, yeah.
One of my favorite movies. She's a Tony winner, Grammy winner, Emmy winner, a brilliant woman.
I know, and she is. She should get an Oscar for this series.
I believe it.
So,
really?
So this is an exception to my rule.
Okay.
Even if you didn't quite like the book, The Outsiders, it's amazing. It's just riveting.
And what is that one on? Do you know?
I think that's HBO, but you can get
yep.
it on demand, and it's really accessible.
Yeah,
okay.
very cool. And there's also High Fidelity coming up.
Now, you would think, right, Ryan, that you couldn't beat the John Cusack movie,
Of course.
right?
Can you?
Right? Yes.
Oh.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because Lenny Kravitz's daughter, Zoe Kravitz.
love her.
They flipped the whole thing around. So instead of John Cusack, the adaptation of the book, and it's Nick Hornby's book, great book, funny and smart and about music. And Zoe Kravitz plays the John Cusack
That's
part.
cool.
Oh.
That's really cool.
So
I
it's-
love that. How smart.
Right? So
Yeah.
it's flipping the whole sort of mixtape and she goes back to talk to 5 ex-lovers to see what she did wrong because she's ready to settle down. And so I just think the whole gender twist role,
Brings a whole fresh audience to
Yeah.
it.
right?
A
And
whole
she's
new
great,
identity.
right?
Yeah, she's outstanding.
Yeah.
And
Really good.
could any guy have kind of, upped it from
From
you
John
know, from John
Cusack.
Cusack?
Right.
They
It's
probably couldn't have.
your
People
favorite,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. People feel too much connection to him. I interviewed him when he was at the Pats.
you?
Yeah, and so it was. Yeah, I
He's
feel
awesome.
like it would be very difficult for people who love that to see anyone else in the role. So that was super smart.
Yeah.
Right, I agree, and it's a classic film too because it was one I think, and you can
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, but don't you dare.
I would never.
It seems to me it was one of those films that first really saw an intersection between really good soundtrack, the soundtrack that moves a story forward, because of the mixtapes
Yes.
and things like
yes.
that.
I know that's a big draw for Ryan too.
Yeah.
Okay, I got to give your giveaway away.
Oh, right,
'Cause here's
right.
the deal. You've got a giveaway for The Ugly Truth right now. All you have to do is call us at 414-799-4444. Caller number 7 will win The Ugly Truth.
And Jill Orr saw a Morning Blend segment of mine, and she signed this for viewers.
Cute.
That's
Right. So this
crazy.
is signed for a Morning Blend viewer by Jill Orr herself
Amazing.
because she saw my segment.
That's really cool, Carol.
Yeah.
Cool idea. Look how
So cool
perfect this
seeing
was.
that.
I know,
love
it was
it.
awesome.
Here's
Thank
where
you.
you can find out more about Carol at her website, blogs and more. It's at carolbarrowman.com.